I think we are back up and running. I am waiting for a minute here to try and make sure. I don't know. I hope you guys could see. I was trying to type comments into chat while all this was going on. Nobody responded, so I don't know if you could see them or not. But basically, YouTube kicked me off. I've been having YouTube problems all week. Some of you know that. Some of you may not. But I've been having YouTube problems all week long. And YouTube just totally kicked me off in the middle of this break. And then I couldn't get it to start the stream again. So I ended up having to completely reboot everything, which when I do that, that stupid broadcast software takes normally 4 or 5 minutes to come back up. No, tonight, of course, naturally, it took like 6, 7, 8 minutes. So yeah, that's always good and fun. So anyway, sorry about that. YouTube, as I said, has been giving me problems all week long, and I thought it was sorted out, but apparently there's still some kind of an API error, whatever that is. But we are back up and running for now. As soon as I realized that the feed had gone down, I just stopped what I was doing. So this is exactly where we left off. And we'll just get back to where we were. This is the cards that we'd already looked through, but we're going to look through them again here for the sake of argument, because I forgot to change the camera setting, of course. See, that's what happens. You have all this set up at the start of a break. Don't expect YouTube to kick you off in the middle of it, and then have to get it all set back up properly. So now let's try and take a look at, there we go. So now we'll go back and take a look. These cards we had just finished looking at when the stream went down, but in case it went down before you got to see all of these, we'll look at those again. These I know you haven't seen because this is when I realized that it had gone down. And I don't know if you guys could see what I was typing in chat while I was trying to get it fixed. So if anyone could see that, let me know. I mean, I've tried to keep you informed, but there's New Age Performers insert Francisco Lindor. But I'm not sure if, I mean, chat stayed up on my side, but I don't know if it stayed up on your side once YouTube kicked the live stream off. I don't know if the chat stayed available or not. To $9.99 on that Chrome insert for the Dodgers, Clayton Kershaw. And again, I'm sorry about that, guys. I mean, YouTube has been horrible all week. One night this week we had to go break on Breakers TV entirely because there was no, it got stuck in this endless loop of logging in and never initiating the stream. And that was, I finally found out that night, way late into the night, after we had already done the live break over on, Breakers. I found out that it was some kind of an API error. They supposedly fixed it. They also had given me a workaround to use in case it wasn't fixed. I had to use the workaround last night. I actually had to use the workaround again tonight, but it was working until it all of a sudden kicked me off tonight. So there you go. And now I see that Brandon said you could not see, I was typing chat comments when I was offline, but apparently you guys could not see the chat comments. So I thought I was keeping you well informed, but I guess I wasn't because you couldn't see any of that. But basically, again, what happened is once I got kicked off, I could not get a stream initiated again with YouTube. So I had to completely shut down the broadcast software and everything and reboot it, which is normally, I mean, like a 4 to 5 minute process, something like that. And of course, tonight it takes like 8 or 9 minutes just because, you know, hey, why not make a bad situation worse after you've already been kicked off and crashed out of YouTube? Why not just make it worse? So sorry that you all couldn't see the chat messages to know what was going on. There is Keon Broxton black border for the Brewers. And normally in something like that, if we had been close to the end of a break, I mean, fortunately, this doesn't happen super often, but it has happened before with YouTube problems. And if I'm close to the end, I will typically just finish it up with the local recording and then immediately upload it to YouTube, because I really don't like having to go away from the live feed when there are cards out on the table, you know, when packs are open or boxes are open and that type thing. Paul Goldschmidt, insert New Age performers. But this time it was acting so bizarrely, and we had three, you know, these two boxes and most of this third box left to look at. I just felt it was better to end it and come back and start over. So when YouTube works, it is great, and it is my favorite one for live streaming. When it acts like this, it seems like sometimes you may go several weeks where it is really glitchy and weird, and then you may go 6-7 months or more and not have any problems. And I don't know if it has to do with updates, like when Windows updates or something else updates and it doesn't interface well, or what happens. But when it came back up this time, everything had been wiped out. All my settings were wiped out. It had even uninstalled my webcam and everything. It was really strange. I mean, the webcam was still connected to my computer, but I'm saying the broadcast software didn't recognize any of my settings or the webcam or anything. So something super weird going on there. But anyway, it's fixed and we're back at it. So sometimes that's the best you can do. But frustrating, I know. I understand. I'd be frustrated too. We're on your side. I'm frustrated on my side. You know, I don't like that to happen either. Sometimes I wonder when they try to fix these things if they don't make things worse. Here is our hit for this box. It is Clubhouse Collection Cole Hamels for the Rangers. So I guess when this gets uploaded, it will be uploaded as Part A and Part B. Just as an FYI. So this, of course, where we had to start back, will be Part B. So if somebody's watching the recorded version and you wonder where is the rest of the break, it's in Part A before YouTube crashed. I try to label them that way when I upload them, but sometimes, you know, you just jump in and start watching one and you don't realize what is going on, where the rest of it is, so. But I do wonder why it wouldn't show what I was typing in chat, because I could still see the whole chat thread from my side, and I could see when you guys were typing, because the first thing I saw was somebody typed uh-oh, and at that point everything still looked okay on my side, so I said, hey, what's going on? What's the uh-oh? And then it was probably 30 seconds later, I was like, uh-oh, okay, now I get it, because it now just crashed on my side too. Nice little Clint Frazier rookie short print for the Yankees. But the whole time, even when it was you know, crashed on my side, I could still see your all's chat and I could still type into chat and everything. So I just thought everyone could see it. Now I know better. Chris Sale for the Red Sox in the black and white insert with the facsimile signature. Of course, we will recap our hits at the end. We'll take a look back at our autograph and relics that we pulled. Also, our short prints and the chrome variations and that sort of thing. We'll look at all that at the end. And we do still have some things that will be taken care of by way of random when we finish up as well. This one, Giants, Reds, and Braves. And as with our others that are box loaders, that are the 3 strips like that, we'll award all of those at the end of the break. We'll take a look and see if anybody owns 2 of the 3 teams. And if they do, then they would own it outright with 51% or more. And if they don't, then we'll award it by random. Oh, getting lots of short prints in this case. Here's another one for the Rockies. This one is Nolan Arenado. Another action image. How about Ichiro back to the Mariners? You know, they kind of had an ugly parting of the ways originally when he left. But I guess all is forgiven, and they are now, you know, he's back there in the clubhouse. Nice little low-numbered Charlie Blackmon to 5. Very nice chrome parallel for the Rockies. And if you want this or any card that you pull with me in any of my breaks in a magnetic one-touch case, I'm happy to do that. You can jump into chat and let me know if you're watching it live. If you're not watching it live, you can send me a message on eBay and tell me that you would like it in a magnetic one-touch case. And that is that a standard case is going to run $3. That covers the cost of the case. That covers the PayPal fees. And the, you know, it's usually a tiny little bit extra postage, not much, like 30 cents or something. So that $3 covers all of that. The only time it would be more than that is if it were a weird size case, like for a booklet or one of the super, super thick ones, like the 260 point or the 360 point, and they're slightly more. But the regular cases all the way up to 175 point, just a standard $3 if anyone ever wants one. And I agree, Brandon, that was a pretty cool hit. You don't usually see a lot of those coming out of to 5 coming out of Heritage, or at least I don't. For the A's, Chris Davis with the Clubhouse Collection relic. So I think it's kind of unusual to pull them to 5 out of Heritage. So I think it's a real nice hit for the Rockies. And they definitely worth the price of admission there, because not a terribly expensive buy-in on the Rockies usually. Andrew Benintendi insert, black and white for the Red Sox. All in all, I mean, what we've pulled so far out of here has been pretty good. So we've had the nice short prints, and then, of course, that Charlie Blackmon to 5, and we had the Chance Cisco auto earlier. So all in all, this half of the case I think has been pretty good. in my estimation anyway. Would have been better, of course, if we could have not had a little 10-minute or so hiccup there with getting kicked off of YouTube, but outside of that, the rest of it's been pretty good. Black and white Manny Machado Orioles. I'm sure he'll be gone from there next year. I wonder, though, what's going to happen with Bryce Harper. I don't know. I can't decide if I think he's going to stay there in Washington or if he's going to be pulling LeBron James and taking his talents. He won't take him to South Beach in this case, but if he's going to be chasing a championship, you know, and not content to stay there no matter how much money they offer him. That is also a short print on the Ahmad Rosario for the Mets. It's color swap, for one thing. And being a freestanding rookie is the other part of that. Because as you know, most of our rookies in here are on the little Rookie Stars card like that. So we've had a nice Clint Frazier and a nice Ahmed Rosario both. I think Nick has the Mets tonight, right? Nick may not still be on here after our little crash and burn there. He may have wandered off, but if he's still on here, I think he has the Mets, so that would be his Ahmad Rosario if that's the case. Sometimes I remember who has what team. It's usually if it's something that I'm not expecting, you know, like a team that you might not usually buy or something. But sometimes I'll remember or notice it. Other times, boy, I couldn't tell you. New Age Performers Stanton for the Yankees. Still weird to see Giancarlo for the Yankees, isn't it? It's going to take a while to get used to that. A few packs left out of this next to last box, these last 4 packs here, and then one full box left. Black and white Mike Trout. So man, the Rays do they have any pitchers left down there in Tampa Bay? Man, they got 2 of their pitchers out for Tommy John already. The season hasn't even started. There's a Rhys Hoskins New Age Performers insert for the Phillies. And we are in the last box of this half case. box loader here is going to be one of the little 50th anniversary buyback cards. Haha, Brandon's saying the last box is going to be the hot box. He's feeling it. He feels like the hot box is coming here. So maybe, you never know. Mike Andrews for the Red Sox on this 1969 buyback. Like our other one, this has quite a bit of curvature to it, which is kind of unusual for paper cards. But anyway, it does. 50th anniversary stamp on it. And maybe not as terribly miscut as the last one we saw, but probably not what I'd call a super great cut either. But then again, it was 1969. None of them were cut properly. A few were, but not many. Brandon, have you watched a lot of other Heritage breaks? And if you have, what have you noticed as being the ratio of autographs to relics per case? So I'm just curious. Obviously, this is just the beginning of the second case out of what I've opened this year. So I'm just curious what the overall ratio is. So I told you we were very relic heavy in the first case. And I'm just wondering if it's going to be that way throughout, or if that case was just kind of an anomaly. Francisco Lindor for the Indians, black and white. I want to find that Bat Boy card too. You know the one I'm talking about? That's a short print in here from, I guess originally one of the players, I don't even remember who the player was, but in original 1969 Heritage, they had a picture of the Bat Boy and called it such and such player. Didn't realize it was the Bat Boy until apparently several years later, so the mistake never got corrected. So they made the same error card in Heritage this year, but they put it with Mike Trout. So it's Mike Trout's name, but like a random Bat Boy kind of guy on there. Oh, so you have same thing then. So you haven't seen a lot of autographs in the cases that you've watched either. And on average, you're noticing 3 per case. That's about more what I thought, because that's kind of in line with the way it was last year. You know, that's more what I was expecting this year. Bryce Harper, New Age Performers. Oh, yeah. Well, hey, anytime you pull a 1 of 1, you're getting lucky. You were absolutely right about that. But to be an autographed relic, and there was another hit you're saying in the box as well. So, yeah, that was a nice box. But that Johnny Bench 1 of 1, I would be super jealous of that, I have to tell you. When I was young, I collected cards a lot. And my cousins collected cards. They were older than me by several years. And I guess that's probably, I don't know if that's what got me started or something else. I mean, my whole family collects things. And so I talked my older cousins out of a Johnny Bench rookie card when I was little. And I kept it. I still have it. It's one of the few cards I kept because I sold, when I got into high school, I really got out of card collecting when I got into, but I kept my cards. Then when I got into college, I just didn't keep them, you know. I mean, my parents had gotten divorced by that point, and so then you have to take all your childhood stuff, right? And you got to find somewhere to put it, and it's like, you know, what am I going to do with all this? And so I kept some of them, sold some of them, and then before I got out of college, I had sold them all pretty much, except for a few little odds and ends, Johnny Benches and Hank Aaron's, and I kept that rookie Johnny Bench. But that's one of the few cards that I kept from when I was young. I love Johnny Bench. Of course, back then, we also did not have, there was no such thing as sleeves and top loaders and all that stuff. And gosh, I carried that card around with me. I love that card. So it's very well loved. It would not grade well, suffice to say. But if I had kept all those cards I had, wow. I mean, most of my cards would have been probably mid to late 70s would have been the majority of the cards that were my own. Now, you know, whatever I could have talked my cousins out of, like the Johnny Bench rookie and stuff, you know, I had some older ones like that. But the majority of what I had would have been mid to late 70s. Into the, I guess actually into the 80s too. Probably more, yeah, might have been more late 70s into the early 80s. But anyway, in that time frame. Probably would have been worth a lot more money today than it was when I sold them way back when. Look at that. I don't even remember putting that rubber band back on my wrist, but I guess I did at some point when I was trying to get all this stuff set back up. I guess I must have picked the rubber band up, put it back on my wrist, because I took it off earlier. That's so strange. I don't even remember doing it till I just now saw it. Wow, that's weird too. Christian Arroyo as a Ray, you know. I'm so used to him as a Giant. Of course, he got traded away. And Scooter Jeanette. Hey, I like Scooter. The Reds are my team. Poor little, always rebuilding, never going to win again Reds. New age performers. Insert with Jose Altuve. I just feel bad for Joey Votto because he's so good, and the Reds have been so bad for so long, it seems like. Molina for the Cardinals, black and white. But I'm sure he could have left if he had wanted to leave somewhere along the way. So obviously he's, you know, happy there, so that's fine, but be nice if he could win some. Oh, there's a nice little relic with Bryce Harper for the Nats Clubhouse collection. Well, if I could get the sleeve open, perhaps we could get the card in it, huh? It's like the produce bags at the grocery store, right? I mean, they're always stuck together, and you can never get them open. Have to kind of, you know, do this with the bag to get it to open. Sometimes I feel like I need to do that with the sleeves to get them to open. Mike Moustakas for the Royals to 999 in that chrome variation. Basically, the white bordered chrome are to 999. The silver bordered chrome are to 569. And then, of course, we saw with the nice Charlie Blackmon earlier, the gold ones are going to be numbered to 5. Purple ones weren't numbered, the best I recall. The purple ones are in the hot box, which we did not find tonight, so we'll still have the hot box somewhere in the back half of this case, which will be coming up in a few days, early part of next week. All right, guys, we have some housekeeping to do here. First off, we will actually, you know what? Before we even get to this, let's deal with all these. Let's deal with these 3 card strips. So this one, Giants, Reds, and Braves. And if someone owns 2 of the 3 teams, they will take that outright. If no one owns 2 of the 3, that will go to random. So I think I got our spreadsheet put back up when I was getting all this set back up. So let me see if I can get us switched back over to that. And I guess I did, but I've got us in the wrong spot. So let's scroll down a little bit here. All right, so the Giants right here, Stuart Gophers. The Reds, Dirty Randy. And then the Braves, Island Lad. All right, so that one is definitely heading to random. And here's the way I do this, guys. A card will go in either left to right or top to bottom, depending on how it's oriented. This one is left to right, so it's going to go in as Giants first, followed by the Reds, which I just make a typo in, followed by the Braves. Because we don't have very many items in here, I'm going to hit random 3 times. The first 2 do not count. It is the 3rd time that will determine where this goes. So first one doesn't count, second doesn't count. Here's our 3rd and final. There you'll see 3 times, and there's all our info on the screen with the date and time stamp, and that goes to the Reds. So that is this box loader awarded to the Reds by way of random.org. So I'm going to write that on the outside of the wrapper here so that we know that one is done. Next up, oh, that's the long one. Let's save it for last. We'll do one of these others first. This is Blue Jays, Diamondbacks, and Brewers. And it's going to be the same process that we just went through. So Diamondbacks is Groovy Y. The Blue Jays down here is Wrigley Field BB Cards. And then our Brewers, Dirty Randy. So again, we are back to random. Same format as we just did. This one will go in as Jays, Diamondbacks, Brewers. All right, first one doesn't count, second one doesn't count, third and final does. There's our 3 times, our date and time stamp. That one goes to the Diamondbacks. So this one, D-backs. Okay. This card, Nationals, Phillies, and Astros. Nationals, Groovy Y. The Phillies, D-Bell. The Astros, Bobby Schoen. I think I made a typo in that. Well, it doesn't really matter, but I don't know. We'll fix it anyway. First one does not count. Second one does not count. Third and final right here, date and time stamp, going to the Nationals. So that's this one to the Nationals. And when I ship these, they'll be in between probably some pieces of cardboard or something like that. So just make sure if you're due one that you look through your whole package, make sure you find it before you would toss out any of the materials that it was shipped with. So this is Blue Jays on one side, Astros on one side, but in the middle we have Marlins, Dodgers, and 2 Rockies. So the Rockies just going to count as one spot. So Marlin, Dodger, Rocky, Blue Jay, Astro. So we got lots of teams to look at here. And obviously, you got to have 3 of the 5 teams to take it outright, because that's what it would take to own 51% or more. So our Blue Jays is Wrigley Field again. The Marlins is Jeffrey Karma. The Dodgers, where are you, Dodgers? The Dodgers, I say I left off the B, didn't I? Well, that's Bobby Schoen. We know that because we saw that a minute ago. And who else did I say was on here? The Rockies, Dirty Randy, and then the Astros, Bobby showing. So we have someone that owns 2, but no one that owned 3. And again, because there are 5 teams on this card, you would have to own 3 to own 51% or more. So, yep, you know what that means. We're back to random again, but we have a few more teams going in this time because obviously we had more teams on the middle section of that card. All right, so it is Jays, followed by Marlins, then Dodgers, then Rockies, then Astros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, we're all in there. So first one does not count. Second one does not count. Third and final right there. It's going to the Dodgers. So that is this strip awarded to the Dodgers, who are here in the middle part of the middle card. Next up, we have our stack of flashback cards. These are all going to be awarded as a group to one team. So I will copy all of the teams from the spreadsheet, then they will be pasted as a group into random. Because there are 30 items in that list, we'll only do random one time for it, and wherever it ends up is, of course, the team that will take that home. We're not going to, no need to do random multiple times when we have 30 entries. I'm just going to scroll up here so you can see that all of our teams were copied and correctly pasted into random. And here we go. That comes up to the White Sox. So that is this little, all these little flashback cards. I just dropped them into a team bag here so that I could write on it and know where those are going to go. So that takes care of those. Now we have these cards, which are our then and now cards. The way this will work is we're going to put left and right into random. We'll hit random 3 times. Wherever it ends up is how these will be awarded. So, and we'll look through each of them afterwards so that you'll know which one might be yours or not, as the case may be. All right, first one doesn't count, second doesn't count, third and final does. There's our date and time stamp and all that jazz. It's going to the left side of the card. So I'm going to put the top one in a sleeve so that I can mark on the sleeve. And again, that's on the sleeve. It's not on your card. It's, you know, on the sleeve. Okay, so we'll take a look through these. So that one is going to the Giants. This one is the Giants. This is the Twins, the Pirates, the Orioles, the Cardinals, and the Cubs. So each one of those was awarded to the team on the left-hand side of the card. Here we have a gigantic stack. All of these are 3-team cards. So in this instance, we're going to put in left, middle, and right in that order. Once again, we will hit random 3 times. I'm going to go ahead and put the top one of these in a sleeve so I can do the same thing, which is circle the position that ends up coming out in random. All right, first one doesn't count. Second does not count. Third and final. And there you'll see randomized 3 times our date and time stamp, and it goes to the middle position. So we'll take a quick look through these, and again on the sleeve, not on the card. So Diamondbacks, Nationals, Rockies, Dodgers, Indians, Red Sox, Nationals, Red Sox, Nationals, Rockies, Nats, Indians, D-backs, Dodger, White Sox, Yankee, Met, Indian, A's, White Sox, Indians, Red Sox, Yankees, Mets. Whoops, those are facing the opposite direction. D-backs, Nats, Dodgers, Red Sox, Rocky, Indian, Nat, White Sox, A, Yankee, Met, Indian. All right, so that's how all those are awarded. Then that is going to bring us to our recap section. We'll just do a quick little pass through on our black and white inserts. These again all with the facsimile signatures, mainly because I have them setting separate anyway. So we'll just go ahead and take a look at them. Next up, here are our chrome parallels, the Royals to $9.99. Here's the nice Charlie Blackmon to 5 for the Rockies with the gold border. Another to $9.99 for the Dodgers. This is to $5.69 Nationals, $5.69 Dodgers, $5.69 Indians. Hi, Ken. There was no Ohtani in this break. This was one of our box loaders. This is for the Red Sox. It's a 1969 buyback card. You see the 50th anniversary stamp on it. It is well loved originally, as are most of our buyback cards. Here's the other box topper that was a buyback. It is also for the Red Sox. It is Reggie Smith, 50th anniversary stamp, and again, well loved. Black border for the Brewers with Keon Broxton. Black border for the Yankees, Didi Gregorius. And then our 100th anniversary gold foil stamp on Jose Perella for the Padres. Then our short prints, an Ahmad Rosario, and that is a color swap. For the Rockies, Nolan Arenado, action variation. Yankees, Clint Frazier. This is also, it's a variation. It's an image variation kind of, but it's because it's a rookie, and he's on a freestanding card, which is not the norm. Action image, Gary Sanchez for the Yankees. Another short print. And our final short print, Corey Seager, action image variation for the Dodgers. Then a relic, Bryce Harper for the Nationals. A Chris Davis relic for the Oakland A's. Cole Hamels relic for the Rangers. A Charlie Blackmon relic for the Rockies. Rockies did okay in this break, didn't they? I mean, the Charlie Blackmon to 5 and a Charlie Blackmon relic. I mean, that's not too shabby. Ellis Keuchel relic for the Astros. And we have one signature in this break, and that was Chance Sisco for the Baltimore Orioles. And that is it for this half case of Heritage. I thank you guys for bidding with me and breaking with me, hanging out with me. And again, sorry that YouTube kicked us off midway through the break. That was kind of a bummer, but those of you who managed to come back and join me, I certainly do appreciate that. And because I told someone earlier that I would do this, before I close out, we'll go ahead and put this back up here again as the shipping information for the things that broke tonight. And as always, it's plus or minus a day. So if I can get it out to you quicker, I always will. And if something goes awry, sometimes it might fall a day later. But in general, that's a pretty good guideline of when you can expect it to ship. And then to answer our question of when the back half of this case is, here are all of the upcoming breaks for the next 5 days. And it looks like Saturday night we have some baseball with the back half of Donruss that we started on Wednesday, which was its release day. Of course, there's all kinds of memorabilia and one-box breaks mixed in, and usually a case break to wrap up the evening, or a half case break as the case may be. So it looks like the back half of this case is going to be Monday night the 12th. You can see it right there. It'll be break number 4. And then probably we will break some Donruss again, most likely on Wednesday. And then we'll probably be back to Heritage again on Thursday. So tonight, half Heritage, some more Heritage Monday night, and then some more Heritage probably starting Thursday or so of next week. Don't have that listed yet. The stuff you see here is the stuff that is currently listed on eBay. And that is really it tonight. So I am going to jump off of here, start getting these cards ready for you guys. And thank you once again. I appreciate you, and I hope I'll see you again on another break. Until then, take care and have a great rest of your night. Bye-bye.